Are you sick of eating vegetables for your meals? Welcome, I'm Natasha. Here we make straightforward meals following Dr. Sebi nutritional guide. Today, I'm going to show you how to make sushi. Let's go. Before we start making our sushi, let me give you a little history about sushi. So sushi is from the Japanese culture, and sushi means sour tasting. So long time ago, like really far, long time ago, they used to preserve the fish in rice that they add salt and vinegar in it to preserve the fish. And then after they preserved the fish for however long they wanted, then they would throw that rice away. And someone got the idea, oh, instead of throwing that rice away, we should use that rice. And so that's why the sushi rice is made with vinegar and sugar, because it's part of that preserving that fish thing. Of course, we're not going to eat white rice, and of course, we're not going to eat the fish here in this channel. Okay, for my sushi, I always use quinoa. And so quinoa is my replacement for the rice. I do vinegar it with key lime juice, and I add some date sugar or even sometimes agave, depending on what I have. And also, I teach you how to keep it stuck onto the nori sheet. So I do use nori sheets as my base for my sushi. So in today's video, I teach you how I make my chickpea tofu crunchy so I can add it into my sushi. If you are looking for a 5-day menu plan to help you stay on this journey and so that you don't just eat boring salads every day, please download my 5-day menu plan below. It is 5 days on breakfast, lunch, and dinner on alkaline meals to help you cleanse your body and help you stay on this journey. Okay, don't forget to click that below. Let's go do that sushi. So first thing we need to do is get the quinoa to stick to our nori wrap. So I like to use avocado. It's kind of like I'm making guacamole, but not really. So this little tool is my lime squeezer, and I love it because it doesn't hurt my hand like that other handheld lime squeezer. So I just put some lime to give that sour taste, and then I'm going to have this kelp seasoning to give us the seafood taste. Even though the nori does taste like seafood, this kelp seasoning give it an extra level of the seafood taste. So I just sprinkle. I don't really measure, I kind of just eyeball it, and then I add some sea salt because you know it's salty. You need that sea salt. And then I mix this up, and I need to add the sugar component. So this time I use date sugar. Remember, you can use agave sugar also. So but the date sugar has like that undertone sweetness. It's not too sweet, but it does give you that sweetness. And this is already pre-cooked quinoa. It's about 2 cups, and my avocado was at 3/4 of an avocado. You could use a whole avocado. And next I prepared my tofu. So this one here is a little wet, so that's why I was getting that water out. I just cut it in strips and big pieces. And then I got my dredge ready. So what you see here is a flour dredge and a breadcrumb dredge. So the breadcrumb is actually made out of chickpea bread that I was testing out, and it didn't come out right, but it made great breadcrumbs. And then I season each dredge, and the liquid for my dredge here is chickpea liquid or Aquafaba. I have found that Aquafaba is a thick liquid that holds your breading better than just plain water or alkaline milk. So that's why I use here, and it was awesome. So remember, my tofu is made out of chickpeas, and if you want that recipe, click the card up top and you can see how I made my chickpea tofu. And so I put it in the kamut flour, that's what flour it is, and then I put it in the Aquafaba, and then I cover in breadcrumbs. So if you don't have breadcrumbs, you can put it back into the flour. The key as you do this is once you put it in the flour the first time, and you want to make sure that not all the sides are completely covered in flour. Then you put it in your liquid, and then you put it back in your flours. So basically you're creating like this, like a crust type thing. And here I really made sure every piece is covered, that it tastes really, so you have a crunch in every bite. And then I did that for the strips. So these strips are actually going into my sushi. The round ones, I made a sushi sandwich. And if you want to see that, let me know in the comments below, and I can show you a video on how I make the sushi sandwiches. I baked these in my air fryer for about 30 minutes until they're nice and crunchy. Now it's time to assemble. So you lay the nori on the shiny side down, and then the dull side up. Notice I showed you that. And then I spread out my quinoa here, and I just push it down with this lovely spoon. This set is really nice. I used to make sushi without the set, and it worked out fine. But since I got this set, my rolls are tighter, and it's just so much easier to make sushi that actually stick together. And then for my veggies here, I just cut up cucumbers and some bell pepper, red bell pepper, and I use a slice of avocado. You can't get enough of too much fat in your foods. We need fat. Also, sushi won't fill you up, so you need that fat. The chickpeas give me that protein, so does the quinoa, but fat is also important too. And then this is how I roll it. So I gather all the inside with the one roll, and then I roll it just enough to cover, and then I take the mat and I squish it down, not too tight, you don't want to break it, but just enough where it gives you a tighter roll. And then I add some water to that last little bit of piece, and then I roll it completely, and then I use the mat again to squish it, make sure everything is nice and tight, and then I let it rest. So don't cut it right away, because if you cut it right away, the water didn't get enough time to set. And so remember, shiny sides down, then you add the quinoa. I'll show you how to make another roll here. And then you press your quinoa down until you got it nice and lovely. And then you're going to add your cucumbers, and here I just cut the cucumbers in fours, not anything too fancy. And then I add some red bell peppers to give that extra crunch and a different flavor, and then avocado, and then of course my chickpea tofu. It's funny, my kids are like, we don't like your tofu, but when I make it into the sushi, they eat it like nothing. And I should say the oldest one eat it like nothing, the taller not so much. Okay, and then this time I added some just seasoned kale. And if you have seen my video on how to stay consistent on this diet, I show you how to make this seasoned kale, so you can watch that video too up in the clip. And then make sure you get all the fillings on that first row inside. And you don't have to, you can have the filling, like some fillings on a different row, but I noticed since the quinoa is not like really rice where something that's fillings can stick on it, you want to get most of the filling in that first row. And then you wet the top, and then I just used the dotted line that's already in the sushi wrap, the nori wrap, to find out when to stop. And then you smush it one more time with the mat, but I guess I didn't do that, but you let it rest. Okay, so here I'm showing you how I pack these up for a snack. On the go. I just take some plastic wrap. Yeah, plastic wrap is so easy to work with. And then I put the sushi roll on an angle, and I close it. So when I eat these on the go, I don't cut them. I eat it like a sandwich, but also I make them into a sandwich. That was that last roll. And then this is how I cut it. So I usually start off by cutting off the ends where I realize, okay, that's not enough. And you want to do the seesaw action with your knife. If you try and just slice it like you're slicing an apple, it's going to fall on you. But as you do the seesaw, it's helping break up the nori sheet. So you do the seesaw, cut off the ends, and then you cut it in half. And then this one was where I kind of estimate, since I cut off the ends. Sometimes the ends are very small that I cut off, sometimes they're very big. So I had to cut the next pieces into halves or into thirds. And so this one here only made 4 rows, where sometimes I can get 6 rows out of it. And then I dish them out on the plate, and look how tight that roll is. They just sticking together and not falling out. The quinoa is nice and packed. That's what you want. Oh, that was so good though. I want some sushi now. Hey, if you like those alkaline sushi, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you're sick of eating boring veggie bowls and salad all the time, please download that 5-day alkaline meal plan down below. That plan will help you have different varieties of foods to eat, and you'll never get bored with it. Hey, if you do like these videos, please watch more. Have a good one. Bye.